Are we on? Are we? Can we talk to everyone? We're live. Okay. Hello, everyone. We're live. Be careful what you say. 안녕하세요. Look at that. Okay, this is Tuesday over there in Korea. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. Master Z, how long have you sat so far in one stretch? How long? Continuously. You remember? What's the longest?
Yeah, Master, was your question that how long can I sit?
Yeah, you said.
I think about 12 hours, Master. Is the last
12
time.
hours? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. 12 hours. Okay. Why don't you sit 24 hours?
Yeah. Yes, Master. Yes.
Okay. Don't drink anything for the first 36 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, you keep on having to run to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, Master.
36 hours or 48 hours beforehand, don't drink anything.
Yes,
Okay.
Master.
And sit for 24 hours. Okay? Your legs are still not flexible enough yet. It should be more flexible than that. Okay, very good. Let's continue. We're learning from Master YongHua's wisdom, Chinese wisdom.
So now, in Buddhism, we should establish a Buddhist youth association. A Buddhist youth association will lead these youth from the improper path to the proper path. What kind of proper path? To walk the proper path of being filial to parents. This Buddhist Youth Association, this is a must. There shouldn't be any issue preventing us from establishing it. This is a must. Establishing the Buddhist Youth Association allows ordinary youth to all understand what they should do. to not go so far as to waste all the time. You, young people in Buddhism now, should be leaders, be role models for others.
我相信不久的将来，这个佛教的青年会一定会实现，一定会有人呢来发起办这种的事情。
Then, I believe in the near future, this Buddhist Youth Association will for sure be established. For sure, somebody would initiate this.
那有人办这种的事情，我各位呢，我拥护这个事情，来帮助这个事情，让它成功。那
Then, for the ones who initiate such things, you should all support and help with this to make it successful.
Okay, question from Korea.
한국어.
Hello. The association's name is Youth Association. In Korean translation or the Chinese character say 청년. It means like young adults. So is it for like youth, like little kids, or is it for the young adults?
For the teenagers. That's for teenagers, not youth. 청년 is the teenagers, right? In Korean?
But the 청년, we use it for young
청년.
adults. Because we have like a lot of big temples have 청년회.
Yeah.
They use it for young adults from 20 to 30.
20 to 30, we wouldn't call it
Yeah.
Zhongyong. We call it young people. Okay. Okay. This is the 青年 here is teenagers usually. Am I correct? Huh? Chinese people. 青年 is young people. Well, actually, early 20s would be included. That's true. Okay, sorry. You're right, Korea. Okay, very good. So did you have that in Korea too? Is there much to go on
Yeah.
here? I am not much for this Chinese and Korean style of doing things. Keep going, and I will make a comment. Let him finish his Chinese and Korean wisdom.
你青年人走到一个正当的路上，这对于国家有帮助。
有帮助。
对国家。
One more thing. When you young people walk on the proper path, this is helpful to the country.
它有帮助，对社会上也有帮助，对人类很有帮助。再往大了说，对整个世界都有帮助。
Remote doesn't work. Okay, and he's probably need new batteries. Okay, continue.
It is helpful to the country, helpful to the society, and also helpful to mankind to talk bigger It's also helpful for the whole world. Then let the youth know what he should do and what he should not do. This is a critical matter.
Okay, that's next one is about elderlies. So let's talk about the 青年, the young people, not youth, young people. Am I right? Youth, is that okay to call it youth? Youth association? To me, youth is like younger boys, maybe young people. Okay, so Young People Association. I think YouTube has the answer.
Jane says it translates to youth in their teens and 20s.
Right. That's what we have I think that's what he has in mind. Okay. First of all, it's an excellent idea because I wish I could learn more about Buddhism when I was younger. So I spent 40 years, 39 years of my life being very confused. And not, it's always the Western education system where you serve yourself and you chase after your desires. That's our culture, especially since I subscribe to the West European education system and look down upon my Asian heritage. So I'm guilty of adopting the Western ways and neglecting my Asian heritage, which is very, very unfortunate. So I think that I think it's a very good idea to expose young people to these important value systems we talked about the last few nights. Okay, filiality, respect, and so forth. You teach respect to children or to young people by teaching about filial, fraternal respect. Okay, the respect is part of the key, the required mindset in order to be taught by good teachers. Good teachers would not teach you unless you are respectful. You're not respectful, good luck. Only bad and lousy teachers and mediocre teachers will teach you, okay, because they need to hang on to their jobs. Great teachers teach you because they want to share with you the wisdom. They want to make you a better person, a better man, a better woman, okay? So the requirement of a great teacher to teach you is you have to be respectful. That's one of the minimal requirements. Okay, so all the things that we've been talking about are very important that we need to convey to young people. And Master YongHua is right. These young people are the future of our country, the future leaders of our country. So we need to give them a proper exposure, the proper value system. Okay, I agree with that. How to go about that is what I don't understand. Okay, because I look back on my young days, young person days. If you put me in a room with a bunch of other people, okay, I wouldn't be interested in learning about filiality. Okay, that wouldn't be interesting at all. Number two problem is that, so the number one problem is what is you must teach them and keep them interested, okay? And the second problem is that how long? Because it requires manpower and space. You want to have an association of young people, you need to have space for them to play, to get together, okay? And so forth. So it's a lot more complicated than it sounds. I don't see any youth association in City of 10,000 Buddhas when I was there. I didn't see any youth association at his bigger temples. There's no manpower. We need to run these programs. Okay, it's bad enough we have to teach you Chan meditation every week. Every week it's like I have to beg my students, please teach. They say, no, I don't feel like teaching. I have nothing to tell them. I said, no, I don't have anything to tell them. You have a lot to tell them. Okay, I'm supposed to be the great master, which has nothing to teach. Okay, but you have a lot of baggage, so you can share your baggage with your students. So you see, it's very difficult. It requires a lot of manpower and the significant programs. I don't like this concept of youth association. You know why not? Because of the manpower, because of the pace requirements. We can't have them come and then they don't mix very well. They do their own things. They have their own interests. Okay, so to make them stand along with old people, mature people, to chant the Buddha's name, to do Chan meditation, good luck. They're not going to come back. Okay, forget it. So I think these ideas here would not quite work for the young people, because I imagine what would I want. I recollect my younger days. It seems not so far away. Anyway, I don't think it's practical. I prefer to have summer camp or like seminar kind of things, because that's all people have attention for. Try to get Joseph to come every week for a youth association. He says, are you kidding me? I am very busy. Okay? But if you bring Joseph to, let's say, a summer camp for a week, okay? Then he says, yeah, are the girls coming? Yes? Okay? Let's face it, folks. I don't know about you, but when I was Joseph's age, by his age already, I was interested in the opposite sex. Already, unlike Joseph. Joseph is very pure. His mother is very pure. So he doesn't have that problem I had. Right, Joseph? Okay? So we have to give them something that interests them. And at the same time, then give them something of substance as well to guide them in proper directions. We're talking about exposing them to the right principles, getting them to internalize it, okay, and use it as reference in the future. That's what we're trying to do. We don't try to change them overnight, every week after every week. I would prefer, remember my personal case, to have some kind of exposure, to know what's right and wrong, some kind of thinking there's some right and wrong here versus, other types of thinking versus, indulging yourself, just me, okay, and go and find and figure out how to pick your parents' pockets, okay, and those things. That's important as well. But also, it's also very useful to me to have some references, okay. So this I would go for a week, maybe a week maximum, okay, and yes, JMT Korea.
Found it interesting because in Korea there are some pretty active youth associations here.
Yeah.
By different temples.
Yes.
And then they do meet every week.
Yes.
And people come back.
Yes.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And I also saw in Koreatown also they have the youth association. And the young Korean adults in Koreatown shared with me that it's difficult to keep going because it becomes a more socializing activity now. And there's no strong Dharma or teaching for them to really cultivate. So people fall off all the time.
Thank you. That's what I'm coming to. Okay? Exactly. If you have this thing weekly, it becomes a social club. You got to let them socialize. Okay? I don't know how you were, Xianan, when you were that age, but at that age, I was strongly attached to the opposite sex. Attracted, I mean, not attached, just attracted. Okay? So this is a natural force. I swear to God. It seems unnatural at times, but there's a strong attachment, okay? A strong fascination sometimes, you will. Okay? So if you get them to meet weekly, it's basically it's a socializing thing. I watched some of those clubs in Vietnamese temples. They're basically girls, boys coming and ogle at girls, and and girls walking by boys and that kind of thing. So that's to be real. For him to say, I'm gonna have this association, teach them all the right things, there won't be any young people who would be interested. I don't think we can keep Joseph interested very long. Okay. On the other hand, let him do his things, play his video games and whatever, chat or whatever. But once once a summer. In the summer, we advertise this 1 week program here. We bring the people here and we show them program. I'll tell you things that might interest them, okay? Such as how to talk to girls. See, Joseph pick up his head immediately. See what I mean? That's what bothered me back then. And she's so cute, but I don't know how to talk to her. I still remember that I go home at night and cry to sleep. I say, oh my God, blew it again. I wish someone would teach me how to do that. That would interest me. Yes? And along the way, because you have to give them what they need, what they want, not just force upon them filiality, respect, and brotherhood and all those things. How long can you keep them interested? Seriously. Week after week? So I don't think the Chinese and Koreans people are practical about it. I don't think this would work. Basically, it's going to become a social club. Those who come weekly because they know each other and they're looking at each other and switching and so forth. That's how it works. No? YouTube, comment.
Brady says, how about incorporating more Buddhist stories into the video games?
Yeah, you could. That's an excellent idea, except someone has to write it and have to make those video games interesting. Let me tell you something. Nowadays, I don't know, but nowadays, in my era, what interests me is just, the opposite sex, period. Nothing else was more interesting. Joseph, we need your input. There's no more youth or young people here in the audience, unfortunately. No, I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole. Okay, so I'm more inclined to organize a 1 week thing. We advertise the program, okay, make it available to everyone, okay. So we'll have the program and we say, the topics of interest would be the value systems here the Master Shihua talked about. That's very important. That's our real purpose here. But at the same time, it has to be useful to them. Okay, so I would talk about social skills, how to talk to girls, okay, how to not alienate them, and girls know how to talk to boys instead of getting them crazy, that kind of thing. So it has to be of interest to them, it has to be useful to them. Yes? Yes, Malcolm. White.
Hello. Master, are there exceptions to filiality, like if the parents are abusive or neglectful to the child?
Absolutely. If you try to be filial with your parents, but at the same time, you don't want to get hurt. Okay? If the parents are irresponsible and are kind of screwed up, then you are filial in other ways. Okay? You make sure that they don't get to hurt you. Okay? So that if they hurt you, they're going to be in trouble with the government agencies. Okay? So you make sure that you don't get hurt, and you give yourself a chance to be filial later. Take care of them later. Okay? It's not meant to be rigid, where you be filial, go home, let them beat up on you, and let them cut your head off, and because of our filial duties. I think that's stupidity. There's no wisdom in there, right? You yourself know. Okay. Yes, White.
I remember I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and one of the topics that was really of interest to all of us, that one of my favorite teachers, Sister Martin de Porres, brought up. She said that making out is not a sin. So that got all of us very interested to listen to her topic. So if we had topics like that,
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone would want to go to that.
Yeah. Making out
Similarly.
definitely is not a sin. Jeez. It's having fun. Come on, man.
We were like,
The Catholics, they're so unrealistic. They suppress they suppress their emotions and feelings. So let them. It's okay. We Buddhists can be honest to ourselves. It just happens that there's a Catholic present. Yes, great. You disagree? Of course, you always disagree with me. Why am I not surprised? I'm sure, just to make a point, I'm sure you believe in being a virgin until you're married. There you go.
Can you repeat that again?
You heard me. That you are one of the groups of people in your generation who believes that you should abstain from sex before marriage.
Yeah, but I think against that already.
But you didn't? You broke down. You see? Yeah. See, to me, it's unpractical. It's like repression. I like her so much, but I have to marry her? Come on, man. This is the 21st century. The girl would be so bored of you. Say, you want to marry me for this? Seriously. Grow up, man. Anyway, we're not going to go deeper into this. So I feel that most of the people I know, because I'm curious about that program, because I know in Buddhism we know that it's not possible. Okay, so I was very curious about how these people will wait. We're able to wait until they get married. You know what? Only the weird ones get to succeed. Go ahead, Daniel. That's his name, by the way.
I mean, I strongly disagree with that because the thing is that, sadly I was never to accomplish that, but if you have sex after you get married, it's better because you're not creating any suffering for people that may have children. You may have children without wanting to. But when you prepare yourself into marriage and then you have children and the family, that's how God wants us to live.
Excellent. So topic number 2, how to avoid early pregnancies. But you have to be my point here is that if you want to attract young people, it has to be something that's of interest to them. to give them only these old Asian value system, filial, fraternal respect, and loyalty, and all those things, how long can you keep them interested? While they're sitting there and they're looking at, girl to girl looking at the boys. You think they're listening at all, even when you're talking? They're more interested in looking around. That's what I would do. That's what I used to do. And then hey, look. You see? So I think it's a good idea, but we need, I think, I'm more interested in providing young people with information that they need than forcing things down their throats. Okay? The old ways for the Chinese and Koreans, maybe you get them to sit and so forth, but I don't think it would work anymore. I think it's a waste of time. You have to be realistic. Just the same. How can anyone keep you interested unless it's something you want and you need? Whether they need to sell you a car, need to sell you clothes, need to sell you food. It all has to be something you want. You can't force it down people. Okay? Same thing. If we teach them about respect, we need to also to show respect toward them as well. We not only make you come here for 1 week's worth of gathering and waste your time because we respect you too much. To me, it would be wasting my time if I come and learn about all these wonderful virtues only. Okay? That's my take on this. And I don't like, because I saw how the Vietnamese did it. I saw a Vietnamese Youth Association. I listened to them every week. And I observed them. I never came out and talked to them because I hate children. But I hated children. I still do, as a matter of fact. But eventually, I noticed it's about boys and girls. They eventually find a corner and they talk to each other. That's it. Like a corner in the stairway somewhere. So that's what they all do when they reach. They become teenagers. That's what interests them. Okay? Maybe I'm too modern. YouTube comment.
L to D says, it is a precept too, Master. I think he's referring to the no sex before marriage.
Yeah, so don't give him precepts. You think you're going to stop him? So are you a virgin already? Girlfriend is here. Bad luck. Oh, wow. What an appropriate. Okay. You want to answer that already? Okay. Look at how quiet San Jose is. They're shocked. What about you, Korea? What do you think? You agree or disagree? We'd like to hear from you. What's your opinion? Okay, Korea.
Question, doesn't the guy have multiple wives?
What guy?
The God.
God?
The God in the heaven. I believe they have multiple wives.
If you ask Daniel, he's going to swear and stake his life on the fact that God only has one wife. Yes. Okay? But we know better. When we continue with the Avatamsaka Sutra, you learn that section about God, and you find out that I can give you a tip. He has more than one wife. And I believe that's why the Catholics secretly want to go up there. The gods have lots of wives. Okay. That's where the Mormons got the inspirations from. YouTube answer.
Elta D says, I didn't take that precept.
Naughty boy. Okay. Good. Okay, Korea. Come on, Korea, say something. In the U.S., we talk about anything you haven't noticed by now, okay? The Koreans are giggling, but they don't dare say anything. Okay, we spare you this time. So that's my take on this. I would like in the future, we have a bigger place, bigger temple, and have more manpower. I certainly would be interested in doing a youth seminar, okay? And talk about things that are of interest to young people, okay? And if you give them interesting information that they want and they need, then when you spring the filiality and respecting on them, they are a lot more receptive. Because we tell them, hey, this is important to you. You need to know this. We're very upfront. We don't try to fool them. YouTube.
Christopher asks, Master, if we advocate for an environment at the temple that allows young people to meet each other for dating and learning about sex, then wouldn't the temples be no longer safe for children?
I don't know. That's why we need a lot of manpower. I don't think the youth association keep them apart. Okay? So, yeah, it's a controversial subject, and it's not an easy thing to do. But I'm for giving them information they need and they want, and not deny them, not hide our heads in the sands. Okay? Because I know, for example, the monks who are pure youth, meaning never had sex before, okay? They're very fascinated by it. Okay? When I look at girls, what is that? It's a very, very big thing. And it's human sexuality, okay? And only those who have tremendous blessings will be able to overcome that. It's the truth. But the rest of them, they really struggle. And like the young novice program we have that I was part of, okay, I was helping, and it's under someone else's tutelage. They all fail because of that. They all return to lay life because they have this big thing here in their lives that their teachers are not helping them address it. They all are pretending it's not there. That's baloney. Okay? So they all returned to lay life. They said, this thing here is unresolved for me. I want to go find out for myself. I cannot ignore this. Okay? If the monks and nuns want to be pure and be idealistic, be my guest. But my temple, we're very realistic. Okay? We want to give you information that it's important to you, you need to have, and so that you can make the proper choices instead of pretending, that it's not there. The elephant in the room is right there, but you pretend it's not there. That's baloney to me. Okay? Anyway, subject for future discussions. I intend to do that, by the way. I would like to do this summer camps for young people, for children. That's important to me because that's how we will be able to expose the future leaders of the world to these important concepts and give them the proper influence, proper exposure. Okay, and be honest about it. You can't pretend, that, hey, we're supposed to be pure. What's purity for teenagers? What's purity for young people? The hormones are going crazy. You're fooling yourself. Go ahead, JMT.
So recently I've researched about this Korean Youth Association. There are two major ones for your information. One is associated with Jogesa, the big temple we went in the northern area of Seoul. And another one is in Pongwonsa. So they are very active. The Jogesa's youth association, they are very open-minded. They invite all kinds of monks and nuns from like Fogangshu and Vietnamese tradition and Tibetan monk. So they are very open-minded. And the Pongwonsa has also its own youth program, young adults. Actually, Seokdo S님 is the teaching, guiding left-on person there in Pongwonsa right now.
Yeah.
So,
and I challenge all those people to to prevent it from becoming a socializing club. That's impossible. There's no way. Okay? And if you pretend it to be the case, you're forcing them to sneak around, that's all. Okay? There's no need for that. Okay? Yes. Yes, Malcolm. White.
Hello, Master was watching Master XinHua videos, and they call him Shifu. And was that his name? Was he also referred to as that?
Yeah, Shifu is what they call master in Chinese. Shu is teacher. Fu is father. So it's a very interesting Chinese concept where these teachers are more than just teachers. You go to school, you teach, you learn from the schools, and you look at them as teachers. Lao Shi, okay, teacher. But in the temples, we called the monks and nuns Shi Fu. It's because to remind them that their role as a teacher as well as a father. Okay, a father takes care of his children and takes his children's interests to heart. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay, and so the dual role where we as a monk we are supposed to give them knowledge and wisdom, and at the same time take care of the welfare as well, worry about the welfare as well. Okay, so I watched too many of these youth associations and look at what the successful temples are in attracting young people. It's a social. That's what brings them together. Is socializing. Okay, if that's what they want, that's what's important to them. So if you ignore that and you suppress that, you're missing out on the opportunity to take care of them. You're missing out on the fu, the father obligation, Ask any father, are you going to stop your boys from, can you? It's not possible. So as a father, it's impossible already that to suppress those things. So that's why I'm a more practical-minded thing where we don't have the manpower nor the interest or the time to turn this into a weekly socializing thing. I would tolerate 1 week where, because they're interested in socializing, I would teach them something. Okay? I wish that someone taught me how to talk to a girl, how to treat a girl. I still don't know how to do it. Isn't it sad? Kind of late, but I still would like to learn. Okay? Those are the kind of things, that's why you see Joseph didn't come to me and say, Master, teach me how to talk to a girl. I said, why do you ask me? But the father is supposed to do those things for you. Okay? So the other day, I took a young boy out to eat and show him how to eat a steak. How to use knives, how to use forks, how to do it properly to impress girls. To try to impress girls. Okay? You do it right. Okay? And then the girl will notice, oh, you're different from the other boys who eat steaks like an animal. That's I don't know quite all the details, but I figure you have to do something different that makes you stand out, makes them remember you. So you have to, cut the meat differently, hold the fork differently, bring it to your mouth differently, and use a napkin differently, and all those things. Okay? And then, so you present them with this TikTok video, a live TikTok video. Is Helen here? You see? And so you'll have this live TikTok video. So, oh wow, look at how interesting that is. No boy ever does it that way. See, that's how you stand out. We compete, man. Okay? So, and it's not just those things, but the fact you do those things, then your self-confidence increases. Hey, I know something. I have superior knowledge. Okay? Anyway, I don't know if it works or not. But so far, no complaints. Or the other day, I taught my monk how to eat as a monk. He went to Korea and he's terrified everyone. I taught him, I forgot to tell him, this is when you try to impress someone to show your samadhi power. This is what you do. I forgot that line. So he went over to Korea and every day he ate like that. And everyone was crazy. It drove everyone crazy. I said, my God, this is what we're supposed to eat? We can't even enjoy our food? You see? All right. I'm sure in the future, Master Z will teach you how to eat properly as a monk. And still enjoy it. Yes, let's continue, huh? I think Christopher disagrees with me, but it's not the first time. Go ahead.
对老人是很有帮助的。
Another thing to do is to think of ways to help the elderly. Now, this country is very helpful to the elderly.
Is it working now? You still want me to turn it?
It's working.
Good Lord, how did Master know it's the batteries?
No, I didn't change the battery. It's working. I don't know what happened.
Lord, why me? Oh Lord. Talk to him.
他给的钱，说他饿不死，你又有地方住，这是很好的一件事。政府呢也要照顾老人。
It gives them money so they won't be starved. They also have places to live. It's a very good thing that the government can look after the elderly.
而是他照顾啊，这个是照顾身体，没有人啊照顾他的精神。他这个肉体虽然有衣服穿，有饭吃，有地方住。
But it looks after, this is to look after his body. It can't look after his mind.
His spirit is not mind here. 精神 here is spirit.
Okay.
It is mental health. Okay, it's not the mind. Anyway, continue.
It can look after his spirit. After his, although his body has clothes to wear, have food to eat,
Close as in E. As CLOTHES. Clothes to wear. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's Canadian English. Canadian Chinglish.
但是他精神非常痛苦，什么痛苦呢？到老年的时候，没有人呢来亲近他，来思考他。
and has a place to live, but his spirit is in a lot of pain. How so? When he's old, nobody draws near him or serve him.
Here, mind is okay.
Okay.
所以，就虽然有钱，政府帮助，或者自己有钱，但是呢，子女都跑到远了。
So although he has money, either from government's help or he himself has money, his children all ran far, far away.
就是啊，这个圣诞节回来看一看，但是还要自己给他买飞机票。
Just during the Christmas, the children might go back to visit, but they themselves have to buy the airline tickets.
这个父亲母亲要得买飞机票，这个儿子得回去看，
The parents need to buy the airline tickets, then the son will go back to visit.
到家里再要给点钱。
Even more, when the children came back home, the parents need to give them more money.
这一种的情形呢，在这个国家认为这是很好的，但是这精神上我知道很痛苦。没有人跟老年人。
This kind of situation in this country is considered to be very good, but I know it is mentally painful. Nobody is around.
一定要有人来扶持他，来帮助他。吃的东西也不能太硬。
The elderly must have somebody to support him, to help him. The food they eat should not be too hard.
穿的东西也不能，穿的衣服不能少。那么一定要有子女在面前呢，来保护着他，令他精神上有一点寄托。
What they wear, the clothes they wear also should not be too little. They must have children in front to protect him, give his mind a place to depend on.
Yeah, it's not quite English, but it's okay. Okay, just get the idea. Because if we correct this, it would take forever. Continue.
因为这样的，俺们在佛教里头所应该做的，就应该做这个安老院。
So because of this, what we should do in Buddhism, we should establish this elderly home.
这个安老院是怎么样的呢？就是把这个老人呢聚合到一起，然后呢找一个就是孝顺这个女人，或者找一个孝顺的儿子来天天。
How is this elderly home like? Is to gather the elderly together, then find some filial daughters.
伺候这个老人，也就像伺候自己的父母们一样，尽心竭力呀，让这些老人得到快乐，得到安慰。比如在他自己家庭里头。
Or find some filial sons to serve this elderly every day, like serving their own parents, with all their hearts and spare no effort.
好得多。
Let these elderly have happiness and comfort, better than staying at his own home.
让他精神快乐，精神有所寄托，这是现在很要紧的。
To make him happy mentally and to have a place to depend on mentally, this is very critical now.
我们在佛教里头，要真正照顾这个老人和小孩子，所以。
In Buddhism, we should really take care of the elderly and children. It is said that
老吾老以及老人老。而我自己的老人呢，我应该孝顺，我应该。
expand the respect of the aged in one's family to that of the other families. I should be filial to my own elderly.
孝顺其他的老，幼以及人之幼。
I should be filial to other elderly. Then expand the love of the young ones in one's family to that of the other families.
疼爱自己的小孩子，也应该疼爱一般人的小孩子。
I love my own children dearly. I should also love others' children dearly.
所以在佛教里头，这个佛教青年会和佛教安老院，这是现在很要紧的事情。
So in Buddhism, the Buddhist Youth Association and the Buddhist Elderly Home are very critical matters right now.
Okay, so we stop and talk about this elderly home. Okay, and the master is very compassionate, so he introduces concepts of we need to take care of our children, our young people, and also of the old people as well, elderly people as well. It's very Buddhist, you know. But here I don't think it's practical. Okay, first of all, I would encourage you to let your mother or your elderly mother and your elderly parents live with you if possible. Okay, that would take care of everything. Okay, instead of because if you establish an elderly home and find, you remember he said, and find filial people to work there, how are you going to find filial people? You know, Master Shenhua had a home at a city of 10,000 Buddhas for just old nuns. Every a nun who's old, like Xian Du's age, for example, and they go there, they have a room, and there's a volunteer who goes there and serves that nun. They have one-to-one service. One lay person who volunteers to take care of the nun. It's not necessarily related, but quite often there's some kind of granddaughter or whatever, to actually serve those nuns one-to-one. Okay, it's fine. And you know that place, elderly, I forgot what the name was called. The resident nuns have a reputation. They have huge tempers. They throw tantrums. Very difficult to please. They basically are spoiled. Okay? And that's the way it is. When you take an old person who's been like that all her entire life, you put some nun's clothes on them, it doesn't change their mind at all. You can't touch them. Okay? So I know firsthand on how difficult it is to take care of old people. Because I used to have someone staying there. So I don't think it's practical at all to be able. I don't think you'll be able to find really filial people to volunteer to work these older people's home, and economically it doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up. Okay, and find filial people. If they're really filial, you better pay them well. Okay. And it's just like any business. You pay them well, you need to train them, you need to promote them, and all those things. So it's not that simple. To me, it's kind of naive. It's kind of naive to think that you can, as a monk, you can start a business, start a thing where you can take care of old people. If it were to be successful, it should be can be duplicatable. Okay, if you do only one home, you can run out of capacity, and then what? And then these filial people, how are you going to replace them? There's so many issues that's not practical. I feel that for us Westerners, I strongly urge you to, where you still are able, take care of your parents at your own homes or your siblings' home. I've seen a lot of Vietnamese family do that, Chinese family do that, even Hispanics family do that. I think that's a practical solution. Okay, and you take care of them until you cannot take care of them anymore. You get to the point where they need 24-hour help. Then you need to put them in a elderly home where they have nurses and doctors and stuff like that, and that's the reality of it. Okay, so I don't think his idea of elderly home would work at all. I really seriously doubt it. I don't think they could even pull it off themselves. He could pull him off himself the last 50 years he's been in this country, because it's not practical, it's not feasible. Okay? So take care, I think it's a great idea for us to commit to take care of our parents in our own families, our own homes, when we can. And when it's physically no longer possible, because when they're in our homes, then we take care of them, we wash them, we spend time with them, and become aware of not making them feel that they are a burden. Okay, that's what really afflicts elderly people. They don't want to be a burden to us at all. Okay, I'm thinking about that already. When I become a burden to them, to my disciples, what do? I see monks who are burdens to their disciples. They go from temple to temple, but everywhere he goes, he's a burden. What are you going to do? Okay? So those are things that each one of us will have to take care to address ourselves. Okay? But the thing for the elderly people home, I don't think it's Buddhist elderly home. Sorry, it has to be a business. It's not a business. It's not gonna last. And the Buddhists are very poor business people. At least he is a very poor businessman. I know that. He has no successful business under his name. How can I trust he's going to be successful? His track record is 0. Okay, so that's a proof is that they weren't able to do anything for 50 years. So this is not a feasible concept. It's important ideas to know we need to take care of our parents and our elderlies is a good thing, and help other people take care of the elderlies, that's a great thing, okay? But the elderly people home, leave it to the professionals. And it's unfortunate. You send them to these retirement homes they call themselves, they basically are waiting to die, but that's the way it is. What are you going to do? So the alternative is that if your elderly parents have enough blessings, they should be able to stay with you until the last moments, because they won't have to be subject to receiving the inadequate care at these professional places. They're not related to you. And after lifting your body for so long, they had physical problems, and they don't get paid enough, and so forth. There's a lot of complications that these residents will have to endure. That's the way it is. Yes, White.
I used to work in that field, working with the elderly. Usually, the elderly lasts 2 to 3 years in that sort of setting.
Yeah. It shorten the lifespans. I'm sorry to say that.
It does shorten their lifespan.
They don't feel like living because, the truth of the matter is that these workers can lose their temper. There's nothing you can do. If they feel bad, if their husband just yelled at them, or the dog just get crushed by the bus, okay, they're going to be in bad mood. They have to release it to your parents. There's nothing you can do. It's just life. It happened because your parents don't have enough blessings. If you have enough blessings, it's not going to happen to you. Okay, that's number one. So to me, my YongHua teaching here is important because the concept of taking care of our elderlies, that's important. The Western people don't do that well enough, and we need to do that, okay? If we are Buddhists, we need to do that, try to do that to the best of our abilities. And so we take care of them, bring them to our homes, our siblings' home, and we visit them and so forth. The whole family, all siblings take care of them. It's a great thing to do, a fantastic thing to do. I'd be so proud you do that. I'd be so happy you do that, okay? That's the one thing you ought to be doing. Number two, you need to give them blessings as well, because eventually the health will deteriorate and you'll be forced to put them in a retirement home. If you can avoid that, it's perfect, okay? So that they can pass away peacefully in their sleep, okay? I hope it doesn't happen to you, because your difficult tempers and so forth, would be too much for your children. One day, it's impossible. She's impossible to please. Okay? I see the future already. And that's how it is. Okay? So unless you have the blessings, they'll be forced to put you in a retirement home. And then you have to endure all those things. That's just life. Okay? That's number one. This Buddhist elderly home here, I'm dead set against it. It's not going to work. Economically, I don't see a model for it. It's not going to, no way anyone can pull it off. We're in a business to make money. And that's the only way we can keep doing is we make more money. Okay? And the elderly home here and his concept is not going to make money. So forget it. Okay? Number two is that, he didn't present to them that take care of the elderly here. To me, ultimately, the ultimate thing is send them to the Pure Land. I wish he told them that. I wish my master taught his disciples, hey, boys and girls, after it's all said and done, send them to the Pure Land. If you can talk filiality to the end of time, but all that matters is do it. Don't talk about it. Send them to the Pure Land. Let Amitabha Buddha take care of them. This is what's missing in his teaching. I'm checking if he's going to hit me in the head or not. Okay? What's the best way? Forever. Send them to the Pure Land so that the Buddha takes care of your parents forever until they become a Buddha. It's the most fantastic Buddhist thing we have to offer. Is it clear? And it's because, his disciples can't do that, so he can't tell them. That's why the spy has to be here. Okay? I'm practical. You can talk all you want, but I've seen too many things. He doesn't know what happens in these retirement communities. It can get very ugly for your parents. Very ugly. Especially if your parents are bipolar. Good luck. They'll be tortured, let me tell you right now. You don't mess with these people. Okay, let's move on. Why are we into too many controversial subjects tonight? Huh? I find myself disagreeing with my master. It may work in China, I don't know. I doubt it. But it's not going to work here. YouTube comment.
Emily says, the elderlies can be challenging to take care of, especially when they're stuck in their own ways, or the highway, so to speak. Sometimes it's like stepping on eggshells, but it's the most difficult and best way to learn patience.
Yes. Also wreck your back, trying to lift them. I remember going over to help a main attendant, another novice at the City of 10,000 Buddhas to take care of first stage Arhat, Cambodian first stage Arhat monk. And he weighs a ton. So that's why the attendant has to need my help. Every time we have to lift him, both of us have to lift him. He weighs like a rock. Okay? You wreck your back. It's very difficult physical work. Never mind about the temperament. Okay, let's move on.
第二呢，都应该提倡这个事情，并且应该成为这个佛教小案。
Everybody should promote this and also should establish this Buddhist college.
佛教的工作很多，不过一步一步的进行去做去。
There are lots of work in Buddhism, but we can move forward step by step.
Okay. Again, can I take another wild stab at this Buddhist college here? Let me check first. Okay. I disagree with this as well. It's a good idea to have an educational institution. Okay. But the way they're doing it is because I watched how it's done. I watched what he could accomplish in 50 years in this country, what he left behind. Okay, I'm not impressed with the children's thing. I'm not impressed with the elderly people thing. I'm not impressed with Buddhist scholarship university either. Here's my biggest problem. If you want to teach Buddhism, he has a good model in Hualien in Taiwan right now. It's a good model. But DRBU sucks. Here I go again, attacking people and criticizing people. Why does it suck? Because the person in charge is not enlightened. if you want to teach Buddhism and you only populate their university and college with so-called teachers who has a master's or whatever, PhD from other institution, what makes you any different from the great universities? It's just a copycat. What should make them different, if I were them, is to populate them with people who have wisdom, not just scholarly knowledge. That's all they have. The institution here is they hire professors, they hire chancellor and so forth, and these people have no samadhi whatsoever. So for me to go there, personally, I'd love to have a master's or PhD in Buddhism because it would embellish my pedigree. I would be known like a small-time monk with a PhD from such and such institution. It would be so cool. Finally, I get some recognition somewhere that my peers refuse to give me, okay? Because I criticize, I might have a big mouth, okay? So, but for me to go to his university and get a master's degree or PhD degree, I feel so insulted. You give me a degree? No, I give you a degree, boy. Kidding, just kidding. Okay? But if you go to Hualien, okay, I understand the person in charge, the nun there, is pretty good. I like her. Okay? You can learn good stuff from her. The proper stuff, the proper Dharma, not just book stuff. If book stuff, go to your regular university. Don't waste your time. You get better recognition, you get a better job offer. But you want to learn the real Buddhism, learn it from an enlightened person. Okay? So that's what's wrong with the college in the U.S. These people have no wisdom whatsoever. How can they teach our brand of Mahayana? It's not possible. They don't even know what it is. And what are we doing? Giving them degrees with Master Shenhua's name. Say, this is our founder who founded this university. You come here and you learn the proper Dharma. No, you don't. You learn the same crap as you learned the same stuff as you learned from the other institutions. We're no different. That's false advertising. I'm dead set against that. We cannot advertise ourselves like that and ruin Master Shenhua's reputation. Are you kidding? If you have a university, the head person should be an enlightened person. The person in charge of teaching should be an enlightened person as well. Don't give me, someone who has experience being, teaching at other universities. That does not impress me at all. Because I listen to these people speak, teach. You don't understand what you're talking about. You're speaking nonsense. Just book knowledge instead of wisdom. Are we still friends? Yes, White.
Master, I wonder, are there very many enlightened people in Mahayana?
Now, you forced me to say it, okay? Not only enlightened people in Mahayana, there aren't that many. Number two problem is that you need to find people who are willing to do this. This is a thankless job. You teach and they stand up and they walk away. And they say, I don't like you. Okay? Yeah. So it's a thankless job. So no one wants to do it. You do this and the students come and suck your blood and you have to give it let them suck your blood. That's the only way for you to teach them. That's why no one wants to do it. When his disciple can say, they're so well provided for, they have temples, they have food, they have everything, money and everything. Why would they go and teach someone when they don't have to? It's not part of the ideals to do that. It's not instilled in them to do that. Okay? And the leadership does not encourage them to do that. I encourage you to do that. If you're enlightened, I think you need to do it. You need to do it because you want to keep progressing quicker. That's what you do. You don't sit behind four walls and meditate and hope to improve. You don't have the skills to do that. You got to know what to do in order to be able to sit behind four walls and meditate and improve. And it should be a limited time span. It's not forever. It's not 20 years, not 25 years I've been there. I've been doing this. It shouldn't take 25 years. You have to spend 25 years behind four walls and you're going nowhere. And the problem number 3 is you need to know how to teach. Okay? You can be enlightened. But you have to learn how to teach. Enlightened people don't necessarily know how to teach. I've seen his disciples who are enlightened. As teachers, they don't impress me. They're not bad, but they don't impress me. Because if you want to make an impact as a Buddhist university, your teachers have to be outstanding. My standards are very high. I want a Buddhist college, a university that ranks among the top tier universities in terms of our field of contribution. Let's do it for real. Don't do it half-assed. And say, I'm just populated with the people who are better samadhis than the other professors. That's still not good enough. We want to give them the highest level of Mahayana we have. It takes dedication. It takes people who can teach, who can motivate people to teach, and can train them how to teach. Let's do it right. He didn't mention that. It's complicated. It's a business. A university is a business. The plus and minuses have to balance out. Otherwise, it won't last. I feel so lonely. I talk about things that you guys are, this is a monk and he's not pure. He's talking about things that's so worldly. Good Lord. Now Christopher is so disappointed. I allow impure things to occur at the temple. Good Lord. As if you can suppress it. Or either if you can't, then you have to turn, a blind eye on that. And that's what the monks are and nuns are doing. We have to treat the people we're teaching with respect by being truthful and honest with them. And give them what they want, what they need. Shall we continue or take a break? Okay, let's continue. You're unanimous. All with your heads looking down. Next.
我们不要怕有困难，最初一定是很困难，但是咱们作为外头，我们得 现在在
We shouldn't be afraid of difficulties. At the beginning, it must be very difficult. But let's set an example.
这个国家来讲，还没有这些个事情，还有人做。你们那个西方的人呢，都很聪明，都。
Now, in this country, people haven't started doing these things yet. You Westerners are very smart.
还有呢，做事情的一种能力。我们现在这些事情，各位应该动一动脑筋，特别注意一点，来去叫它进行。
You have lots of capability in doing things. Now, these things, you should think about them, pay special attention to proceed with this.
你这样子，你们将来作为父母的人呢，都可以放心的，将来你到老的时候，得有人照顾，不要轻。
Then, in this way, in the future, you as parents can rest assured when you become old, somebody will look after you.
不会像以前呢，这些个老人呢，他们太不幸运了，没有人照顾他们，就是。
Not like the elderly from before, they were too unfortunate, nobody looked after them.
他们枯燥的不得了，枯干的，一点做人的意思都没有。我方才说，
They were very bored, withered, didn't have any meaning in life.
这个小孩子不能把他杀了，吃他的肉，跟老人也是一样的，也不。
I just said that we can't kill this little child and eat his meat. It's the same with the elderly.
我们大队些老人把他杀了，吃这个老人的肉，也不可以的。
So we also can't kill these elderly and eat his meat.
The meat is not tender, I assure you.
It is not
My
okay.
meat is not tender at all. Don't even dream of it. Go on.
所以必须要好好去对这个老年人和这个亲人，这是很要紧。
We must treat these elderlies and youth well. This is very important. We must not eat this elderly's meat. It just so happened this elderly's meat is tough like wood, can't eat.
Unless we turn it into beef jerky.
除非变成
这是不能像小孩子领肉，也是不能吃，因为大家都是人，人也。
Even if it's not tough, like children's meat, still can't eat it because we are all human.
要互相爱护。因为这个，所以老年人对青年人应该要慈悲。
Among people, we should love and care for each other. Because of this, the elderly should be compassionate towards the youth.
Kind, forgot the word kind here. He stresses the word kind and compassionate. You're older, you're elderly, you need to be kinder and more compassionate towards the younger people. Not throw tantrums and demand this, demand that. It's okay.
青年人对老年人应该要孝顺。那个人人都应该孝顺。
And the youth should be filial to the elderly. Everybody should be filial.
人要不孝顺，就和这个禽兽没有分别，甚至不如这个禽兽。
If they're not filial, then they're not different from the beasts, even worse than the beasts.
老年人和青年人应该慈悲，如果不慈悲的话，
The elderly should be compassionate towards the youth. If they are not compassionate,
那也就是一个动物一样，没有人性，就是不懂得做人的这个道理。
then they're not same as animals.
So this is important to stress that young people, able-bodied people, should be filial. That's the standard. There's no excuse for not being filial. We need to take care of our parents. And for elderly people, the Master taught, we also have to be responsible. We have the duty to be kind and compassionate. What he's not stressing here, I don't know if he's going to stress in upcoming sections, but if you want to be kind and compassionate when you're elderly, you need to start now, all of you, before it's too late. Okay? You're kinder, you should learn to be kinder and more compassionate. I'm very proud to tell you that when you learn Chan from us, that's your natural grade of progression. The more skill you're becoming Chan in our training, it is predicated upon your becoming kinder and more compassionate. Because for you to become kinder and more compassionate when you're older, you have to start now. All right? So I love it, the fact that the Chinese gave us all these insights, but the implementation still leaves a lot to be desired. We want to make these beautiful, these insightful, so wise teachings into our cultures for the modern times. We have to implement better than they do. All right? They talk a lot, but I don't see that kindness, compassion in these people after all these years. Okay? And because it's not interwoven, it's not built into their training. Okay? Listen, new people. What matters to us is not about right or wrong. It's about becoming kinder and more compassionate. Okay? That is what the main thing is. Right and wrong doesn't matter. When you have wisdom, you'll find out what you find to be right is actually not the way you thought. What you find out what's wrong is not the way you thought. You'll find that out yourself. That's why in our world, in our tiny world where only a few of you can get to participate, okay, we don't stress right and wrong that much. We stress kindness and compassion. Okay, and that's how you will develop your wisdom. Right and wrong is worldly, is overrated. Okay, so the people who insist on being someone right, someone wrong, they're worldly. They're caught up in the worldly habit energies. That includes monks and nuns as well. Monk says, oh, he's right, he's wrong. You know, that monk is right, that monk is wrong. We are right, you are wrong. Those are worldly things. These people who speak like that have no wisdom whatsoever. I can look you in the face. And those you who are like that, you monk and nun, you have no wisdom whatsoever. Shut up. And you should not be taken seriously. Okay? You hear me? It's about kindness and compassion. You're not progressing quickly enough is because you're not kind enough, you're not compassionate enough yet. That's the difference. Those you who progress faster, okay, because if your makeup is of kindness and compassion, you progress in our program very quickly. If you don't progress quickly, it's because you're not kind enough, you're not compassionate enough. Okay, we stop here tonight. Thank you all. And thank you, Master, for putting up with me.